Welcome to Homekeepers. Hope you can stop and have a cup of tea with me today, and we can hang out a little bit. Just welcome everyone who's watching today, and I'm confident that we have new viewers every day. You're so welcome. One and all, you're so welcome. And we try to deal with anything and everything that concerns the home, and I have a guest today who knows a lot about that. I'm going to try to say her name, Padmaja Medidi. She was born in India and has the most amazing story you've ever heard. And you'll see in a minute just a beautiful, beautiful Indian sari and live jasmine flowers. And just get just a little bit closer, you can smell it. It's going to be great. And she's going to make an Indian dish, chickpea saute, and maybe she can give us the correct Indian name for that, but looks extremely healthy. I think a lot of Indian cooking is. Before I join her, though, I want to again offer you our heart necklace. We were out of these for a while, and now our source said we can get them again. And I intended to wear mine because everybody loves them. But I just remembered I sent it to my sister. She needed it for a trip or something. So, but if you're interested in getting this really pretty necklace that's so versatile, call 1-800-229-0059 or write to me, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, and we'll get it out to you. And I'm just going to call you Pat, okay?
That's fine.
Welcome to Homekeepers, and I feel just really ugly next to her today.
You look beautiful.
Oh, we're so glad to have you and to hear your story. But let's get going with this. What do you put in
I just put the oil. It's
okay.
just hot enough. So first we'll add the mustard.
And these are all seeds.
Yes, mustard seeds.
Yeah, and they're
and this is a cumin.
Yep, I've heard of that.
And this is urad dal.
Not heard of that.
And this is the red hot chilies.
Now that does have a tendency to get real hot if you
yes.
turn it down
and
a
I'll
little
just
bit.
turn it off.
Okay.
So here, these are curry leaves. I'm just going to put, because it's hot, it's going to pop. We'll stay away from that. And these are the curry leaves that I got from home. I have this in my backyard.
And it is just, it has amazing aroma, and it's so beautiful.
So now that's done, I'll just put the chickpeas in here.
There we go. Boy, that did get hot, didn't it? It'll calm down a little bit now.
Yeah. And just very light salt.
Now, you consider this a snack?
Yes.
And what is the Indian name for it?
This is called chana.
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 I love chickpeas. I kinda like any
chana,
kind.
garbanzo beans, they're very high source of protein. You know, there's like, it's excellent for the vegetarians, especially that want to use substitute, because there's 17 grams of dietary fiber and 19 of protein, 19 grams of protein. So it's excellent. They said it's really, really good source of protein. Now, this is all done. I just sauteed it with just a few of these spices in there, and just this pepper here. I didn't want to break that. That's the real cayenne pepper. You know, we just break it in half and put it in there, and that just gives.
Is that pretty hot?
Very hot.
Very hot.
Yes.
That. I was telling her before the program that usually Indian food is just a little bit too spicy for me.
Yes.
But if you're raised on this,
you know, that's why I just used just one bit of it, so it's not very spicy. You can just remove that and eat it, and it'll still taste very good.
Yeah, and really, because the oil was so hot, those seeds popped very quickly. So, okay, where do we go from here?
Now, this same, I just want to show you another way. When this cools, what you can do is we can put it, just to make it even more healthier, we can add tomatoes. I have chopped tomatoes here, chopped onions here, and I have cilantro and some lime juice that was freshly squeezed. Now all this, I'll just hold it in if you can just pour it with the spoon.
So it's the only thing, those seeds you put in, some of them I had not heard of.
Yes, you can only get those in the Indian store. you need to go to the Indian store because
is that pepper the hottest thing that you put in there?
that's all.
Okay.
If people want to make it hotter, you can add a little bit few more of these,
healthy, yeah.
or you can also add green chilies, which is also hot. So it depends to your taste. You can change it. If you like
were
it
born
mild.
with this kind of a diet, right?
Oh, I'm very, very used to eating
right?
hot food. I love it.
So you want to put these in?
This, yes, we'll just add tomatoes. Just we can put the tomatoes.
Oh man, those look good.
Yes.
I always think anything that's really colorful like this has got to be healthy.
Tomatoes.
There was a reason God made so many colors in our food.
And we'll just add. Let me get that. Okay. And we'll just add onions.
Get me a little fork here because I want to taste it. Now, while you're mixing that, because we're going to show in just a minute, you made a beautiful DVD.
Yes.
Is it on the fruit of the Spirit?
Yes.
Yes.
The theme is Galatians 5:22.
Well, where all did you shoot it? Because it's just beautiful, the landscape.
I went to India, every location. We went to beautiful, beautiful location. Now, this is cilantro that I just added, and I'm just going to add lime juice. You just mix it all up with lime juice.
Isn't I'm going to sprinkle. Gorgeous?
I'm going to sprinkle some salt.
Getting a close up of those colors, I hope.
Just going to sprinkle some salt, just to taste.
And it probably would taste better after it hangs out a little bit.
Little bit, but not too much, because this wouldn't stay in the fridge. Now, if you want to keep the chickpeas, just as I sauteed it, that will keep for days. But if you do this, then you have to eat it. Yes. So this is, you just mix it.
What was it that prompted you to make? A lot of people make like a CD, but not everyone goes out and makes a DVD.
Oh,
especially when so beautiful.
I was singing at a church in California, and one of the executive directors came up to me and said, "I think you'd be reaching a lot of people if you can do this in a DVD format." Try it. You can taste the lime. Do you need a little bit more salt?
Oh boy, that's my kind.
You like it?
Of food, yeah.
And it's and it's very healthy.
Oh,
that's what it is. And they say that chickpeas and weight management, there's a positive relationship, because when you eat chickpeas, you just feel full.
I tell you, as soon as we're through with this program, honey, that's what I'm going to do. But a little bit more about the DVD. And so you made it for what purpose? Is there any certain group of people you wanted to reach with it?
Yes, in India, the people that speak my native language, because it's recorded in Telugu language, to minister to that population. But actually, to tell you the truth, there's English subtitles, and people have been calling me from Africa, Australia, all different countries, from the islands, Jamaica. So Americans, so many Americans love it. It's beautiful.
Well, we're going to show you just a little bit of it, and then we'll give you the recipe information. But also, this lady has an arranged marriage, and she's very happy. You've got to hear about that, so stay with us. I think it's so amazing.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, please send your request along with a gift of $5 or more to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758.
And that's only a little glimpse of some of the beauty, and it's got some nice rhythms going there as well. I'm a former choir director, so I notice a lot of things in music that maybe other people wouldn't. Now, first of all, look at this gorgeous sari. This, is that what you call it? Your
Yes,
dress?
it's called a sari. It's
Just gorgeous, that fabric. And those flowers are real jasmine, and I can smell them very plainly over here.
I grow them in my yard, and my friends have it to a lot of Indians, and we traditionally wear it this way, you know, for occasions like weddings or church or very special occasions.
What occasions do you wear this kind of a dress?
A
Because
sari,
you are American now.
yes, I go to church in a beautiful sari, to weddings, to very special occasions, any parties.
So feminine, yeah. Yeah. I want to go back because, Pat, I have had through the years a number of missionaries on, because I want that mom at home or that grandma to know, you know, how the kingdom of God is really expanding. And I want you to tell that story about, was it a Seventh-day Adventist missionary who came to your little village?
Yes, it's just amazing how God works in such beautiful ways. I'm just so blessed. I feel blessed that I'm here in this beautiful country. It's because of the missionaries that came to India. And I have to say, I'm very grateful to the missionaries that sacrificed these beautiful comforts of this country and came to a place like India just to minister to people around. So my grandparents are Hindus. So my father was born in a Hindu family. And in their village, there were no Christians at all. And there was an Adventist pastor that came to the village and wanted to preach in the village. But the villagers got together and they didn't want him to preach. They stopped him from preaching. Now, this is in the 1930s, I have to tell you. This is like way back. There was no electricity, very remote, no transportation. I remember as a child going, we would walk for miles and miles and miles, and when it's dark, there's no light, you know. But missionaries decided to go to that remote village, and so they came up with a proposal to start a school. And they were happy to, you know, so they started. My grandfather actually gave permission to build on his property a small classroom. So they built, and my grandfather was the first to be baptized in that village.
Yeah, so the missionary just kind of sneaked the gospel in there, you know, under the guise of a school.
And I'm telling you, just as a result of that school, many people in and around that area, a lot of kids came to know the Lord. Because, of course, the parents are there and the children also have the message, and so they built a church eventually. So it's just wonderful how God works. My father eventually became a physician and became a missionary, medical doctor in Jamaica, worked there for over 20 years.
You lived in Jamaica for a while, right?
Yes, I lived there, you know, because my mom and dad were there for more than 20 years. So I was there briefly just for a year.
You've had a very enriched life, I would say.
Yes,
all
wonderful.
Nations and the experiences.
But I have great parents who are really great role models, who love the Lord, very dedicated. My mom's a prayer warrior, so just that was just very rich.
Yeah, you know, I mentioned to you earlier, I grew up in a minister's family and have always known about the Lord and wouldn't trade it. But there's something about meeting someone where a missionary went there and just changed their lives, changed for generations to bring the gospel. I hope my viewers, and I believe they do, appreciate missionaries as much as I do. I bring them on every chance I get.
I really do appreciate, because if it wasn't for the missionaries, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have known the Lord, and I wouldn't have a ministry.
Where would you be? You just don't know what kind of a life it would have been.
Absolutely.
Now, I am so fascinated by your marriage. I think for an American that is just so far out, but I was giving it some thought. In the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, marriages were arranged by the parents, usually. And Americans cannot boast of much success. I mean, look at our divorce rate. So tell me how that happened. Did your parents just say, okay, this is the one, and you said, okay? I mean, what if
just
you didn't
as simple
like
as that. It truly, see, we are brought up in a different culture. And our minds, you know, we just know that our parents make good selection. Now, my father loves me and he wants me to be happy, so he will choose the best for me. I know for a fact that he will. So I had faith in them, and I knew they were godly parents, and they prayed a lot about it. So most of all, I should say, if God is the center of your life and if you depend on Him, I think it will work. But for me, yes, my parents did select. I just got to say hi to him, and that's...
And then you got married?
Yeah.
You know, the expression in America, that freaks me out.
And it is scary, but I can tell you I trusted the Lord. I knew that He...
Had you never met him before?
Yeah, I just met him, you know,
5 minutes.
Yeah, we would say, I just said hi when I went for a visit. I went to college in Michigan, so I went to Jamaica for a visit and just saw him there briefly. He was working with my daddy. Dad was training him.
Is he Indian?
Yes, he's Indian,
Not
and
Jamaican.
he's from, no, he's not Jamaican. He's from India. He's from the same state I am, so we speak the same language. His father and my father were classmates in high school. So my husband's dad.
So were both parents, sets of parents involved?
Absolutely, yes. First, it goes through the parents, and then the kids.
Okay, let me get this straight. Had you met him before?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did briefly, but it wasn't like we had lengthy conversations or anything. It was just a hello. I really didn't know him, and he didn't really know me.
So then do the parents come and say, we have chosen what we believe is God's choice for you?
Yes.
And you agree with that?
Yes, but I do have a choice to say yes or no.
Okay.
We do have a choice.
And so for the wedding, was it a big wedding?
Yes.
I bet you were a gorgeous bride.
Thank you. We had a big, beautiful wedding, but the whole town is invited. That's how it is in India. A lot of people come. 1,500, 2,000 people just come for the
Real
wedding.
celebration.
Yes.
And so in many ways you're marrying a stranger.
Yes.
And so when it's all over, you know, what are those moments like when you're really alone? And now I'm this man's wife.
Yes.
Now you start to get acquainted, right?
Yes, yes. You do it after marriage, not before. So you get to know the person, but you know, if both of you are equally yoked and you love the Lord, you learn to work out your differences. I'm not telling you any couple are perfect. We all have our differences and we have our flaws, but yet when we know the Lord, it's different. So.
How long have you been married?
28 years.
And you have a son and a daughter?
Yes.
And they're both in medicine?
Yes, my daughter is a second resident in University of Tennessee in Memphis. So she's doing wonderful. She's doing family practice just like her daddy. And my son is the 4th year medical student, final year at University of South Florida.
So you apparently really agreed with your parents' choice. What are your thoughts on the American way? I'll preface it by this. Mrs. Billy Graham was a missionary's daughter from China, and she was comparing marriages, and she said, in China, the marriages start out cool and they heat up. In America, they start out kind of blazing hot and then they cool down. As someone, you know, with the worldview that you have, would you agree with that?
Yes, because initially we don't date, we do that after marriage. You know, you get to know the person more intimately after marriage. But as I said, any marriage, even if you're in America, any country, I would think if truly, if you see God's guidance, I think we will be successful.
Now tell me about your grandfather became a doctor, is that right?
My dad and my dad's brother, both are doctors. My grandfather was not educated.
Okay, now but they are now missionary doctors as well.
Yes, dad and his brother, both of them are missionaries.
I wonder if anybody remembers who that Seventh-day Adventist missionary was.
My dad does.
Yeah. I mean, to think of the abundant welcome into heaven
Yes.
that he would go to a Hindu village.
And to tell you the truth, there are several. My father now, he's volunteering his services in India. There is another hospital, it's called Gifford Memorial Hospital in another part of the town, and he was the medical director, but that's another missionary that started that hospital. So there are several hospitals and schools and colleges across India that were planted
American missionaries,
Yes,
thank God.
Praise God.
I've
praise the Lord.
often thought that was one reason that the Lord hasn't dropped the sword on America, because she has become so wicked. And I think of that we have attempted to evangelize the world, and we fed the hungry, and we have supported Israel. And God said, would we be blessed for those things? But I wonder how long he can overlook the wickedness. Now, we have her website on the screen right now, and that indicates her beautiful DVD. And then when you get a chance, Preston, let's put up the address and telephone number where they could also check that out. When you look back over what I think is a very amazing life, what are your first thoughts?
I'm truly thankful to God for that seed that was planted years ago that came full circle in a music ministry that I'm able to do. Here I am in America, that able to minister to so many people. When the interview was aired last couple of months ago, people called me from all different countries, and they were so touched by the music. So I'm happy to be able to minister to so many people. So really, honestly, I would encourage us to use our talents for the glory of God. However, I don't know. For example, I did cooking. I don't know why God wants me to do cooking, but I'm willing to do whatever he wants me to do. You know, I sing, I cook. You know, there is so
You're
many
a nurse also, right?
Yes, I'm
your
a
family
nurse.
is really a strong medical family.
Yes. You know, so but I'm thankful to God that, you know, I was raised in a beautiful family. We're godly parents. You know, my dad's a great singer. That was my dream, actually, someday that I'll travel to India with Daddy and record a Christian album that would minister and witness to so many people. And God truly gave me the desires of my heart, and I was able to do that.
We have had that address and telephone number, but can you reach back and pull your hair around?
Oh,
I want people to see how long it is. It's just gorgeous. Oh my goodness. And it's curly, right?
Yes, natural.
And has it ever been cut?
I just trimmed the ends of it. I like it long, so I just left it long.
It looks absolutely wonderful on you.
Thank you.
But you're just such, you and your family, such a trophy of God's grace. And someone like yourself comes along and reminds us that he's not willing that any should perish.
No.
So he'll send a little school builder to India.
To places like India, so many different countries. Missionaries are globally, they're in so many different parts of the world. I'm ever so grateful to them for the hard work and all the sacrifice that they do. People like me, you know.
Yeah, and I think there's so many more like you. I hope we can we can meet more of them. And Pat told me, you know, about all the schools and hospitals that have been built by missionaries in India. And one day we'll all be together and really see the big picture. It'd be wonderful. Please stay with me. I have a couple things to say before we have to say goodbye.
Arthlene would like you to keep the following information handy. You may contact Homekeepers by writing P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, or go to www.rippy.org. Remember, we always enjoy hearing from our viewers, and we thank you for your support.
Okay, let me again remind you, we have these beautiful heart necklaces back. Sometimes they say we can't get them, and then we do get them. And so if you would like to have one, we will send you one. If you want to use your credit card, 1-800-229-0059. Write to me, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. and we will get that out to you. Love hearing from you either way. Well, Mr. Ken Huber from Tawas, Michigan, wrote the following, which he titled, "What Has America Become?" He writes, "Has America become a land of the special interest and home of the double standard? Let's see. If we lie to Congress, it's a felony. If Congress lies to us, it's just politics. The government spends millions to rehabilitate criminals, but does very little for victims. In our public schools, you can teach that homosexuality is okay, but you better not mention God in the process. You can kill an unborn child, but it's wrong to execute a mass murderer. You can have pornography on TV or the internet, but you better not put a nativity scene in a public park during Christmas time. We can use a human fetus for research, but it's wrong to use an animal. We take money from those who work hard for it and give it to those who don't want to work." Mr. Huber goes on to say, "What has happened to the land of the free and the home of the brave?" And I believe he raises some very serious issues. John Adams said, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and a religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." Personally, when I read of the billions of dollars of fraud in our government health care system, when I navigate my car through a crumbling infrastructure, when I drive through unkempt neighborhoods exhibiting the slothfulness of the owners, when statistics tell me that high school dropouts are at an all-time high and it's perfectly acceptable for men and women to move in together, ignoring a commitment to holy matrimony, the scripture flashes before me like a neon sign: righteousness exalts a people, but sin is a reproach to any nation. The signs of a nation spiraling downward are all around us and at every turn, so what's the hope? God has never withdrawn his end of the bargain. He said he would heal our land if his people would humble themselves, pray, and seek his face and turn from their wicked ways. If believers do not comply, they're the problem. Think about it and remember, there's no higher calling than that of a home keeper. God bless you.
If you would like a video copy of today's Home Keepers program for just $19.95, call 1-800-229-0059 for credit card orders, or send a gift of at least $19.95 to Home Keepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. Be sure to note the program number which appears on your screen.